While unemployment is still very high, one man knows exactly what is happening to the local job market, specifically in our two biggest industries.
In this rebound report, he says one's trending up while the other is going to be a little bit slower.
Brian Long of Grand Valley State University is part of a long-running survey of the West Michigan industrial market.
The survey itself is now over 41 years old.
Wow.
So I've got data going back quite a few recessions now where I've looked at these ups and downs that have happened.
His most recent survey covered the local market at the 6th-month mark of the pandemic in mid to late September.
The important fact, of course, is that the industrial factor of our economy has a very long supply chain associated to it.
His survey shows that some businesses could and would be doing better if their supplies were up to speed, like the automotive industry.
Car dealers are hollering about this. They say we could sell more cars, but you're not shipping them to us. And they come back and say, of course, unfortunately, our supply chain has gotten hung up someplace, and we're working on it. But for right now, we have a problem.
In fact, Long says some are willing to lower their profit margins if it means keeping their products moving, which is actually good news locally.
There's companies that have said, hey, instead of saving that 1 or 2 cents per unit buying it halfway around the world, maybe we'll pay an extra penny or two and have it made here locally where we can keep track of the supply chain. That, of course, is going to be of benefit, particularly to our automotive-based companies on the west side of the state.
The second big industry in West Michigan is furniture. It's running into a separate problem, which Long says is more specifically related to COVID.
We are redefining the office, and there's going to be people that are going to be primarily working from home. They have started working from home, and they are happy working from home, and they are actually more productive working at home.
Long says businesses aren't buying as much office furniture as they wonder what their offices will look like going forward.
In this whole rethinking of the office right now, they're going to hold off. And this is the local industry that I suppose I'm most concerned about. How quickly can they turn the corner and get into this new mode? Every business has to reinvent itself periodically and update itself and start doing something different. And this has been, of course, the case with the office furniture business from the very beginning.
According to Long, the initial bounce our economy saw in the summer was in part credited what economists call pent-up demand. And while things are still looking up, we may be leveling off a bit.
And we have a myriad of miscellaneous industries in the West Michigan area, and all of those industries, of course, have to a certain extent come back once again as the economy has continued to reopen. What has happened, of course, is particularly at the national level, our numbers aren't as strong as they were the month before. And I have to say that was true of our local survey as well. We're still looking at positive numbers, but that initial bounce that we usually get at the end of a recession may have, in fact, run its course.
Now, Long says short-term and long-term confidence are very important trends, and he says both are promising locally. He also points to shortages in many trade jobs and calls that a positive sign in how West Michigan is recovering right now. If you know of a group or person helping others rebound from the pandemic, tell us about them by emailing rebound